It is a clear night in late August in Mountain View, California, and we're live at St. Francis High School at the Ron Calcaño Stadium for the season opener of the home team St. Francis Lancers going up against the Sea Kings of Corona Del Mar. My name is Mike Messner, and I'll be calling the action for tonight's game in a contest that has been described as, and I'm quoting from MaxPreps.com, a great Southern California versus Northern California matchup, pitting a record-breaking passing game versus the locomotive running game of St. Francis, led by the team's massive front line. And when they say massive, they're not kidding. The average height of the offensive line in St. Francis is 6'1". The average weight, 268 pounds. And that's massive for some college teams. So Corona Del Mar does indeed have its work cut out for them. At least their defensive line does. Players you'll want to watch tonight, ladies and gentlemen, will include offensive guard Mose Vavao, quarterback Ryan Daly, an offensive and defensive line named Antonio Vacamelialo, and offensive line Afa Sanft. And I'll be talking about each one of them as we go on. On the other side of the field, Corona Del Mar, last week, their starting quarterback, Ethan Garbers, threw for 491 yards and an Orange County record 8 touchdowns in a 57-20 win over rival Downey High. So they've played one game so far this season. St. Francis, as I said, this is their opener. You'll want to watch out for John Humphreys, who's their wide receiver. He had 7 catches for 163 yards and 3 scores. And if that isn't impressive enough for you, Garbers has committed to the University of Washington. John Humphreys has committed to Leland Stanford Junior University for next year. Other people you want to take a look at for Corona Del Mar, tight end Mark Redman, wide receiver Simon Hall, and wide receiver and free safety Bradley Schlamm. You can see St. Francis's team being introduced right now. St. Francis, we are in a Hall of Legends tonight. They have 17 section titles and 1 state championship crown. That one, of course, was from 2 years ago. And under the guidance of Coach Greg Calcaño, they are looking for more. St. Francis ranked number 90 in the state of California. Corona Del Mar ranked 15th. So it's going to be quite a contest tonight. We'll be back with a toss of the coin and our opening kickoff right after this. Corona Del Mar and St. Francis. We're back at St. Francis High School. Mike Messner at the sideline giving you the play-by-play of this match between St. Francis and Corona Del Mar. What you just saw, or what you saw the ending of just there, was the sportsmanship proclamation that followed the prayer, which is typical at St. Francis High and many schools in the West Catholic Athletic League. The sportsmanship is something that has happened a lot in Bay Area sports recently, with the idea that the spectators are expected to behave just as well as the athletes, and that cheering and appreciation happen for both sides and not simply the side that one might be rooting for. And it is a lesson that we hope will stay with those athletes as they go on in their college and perhaps professional careers. The captains for Corona Del Mar and for St. Francis are coming out to midfield right now. The coin will be tossed. There are 4 Corona Del Mar captains. 2 for the Lancers. So we should know very shortly what the results of the coin toss are. Serious football thoughts here. This is the home opener, the very first game for St. Francis. And they're going up against a nationally recognized powerhouse, which is not to say that St. Francis has a shabby record by any stretch of the imagination. But this is indeed, you could call this a California Civil War, as Corona Del Mar, coming all the way from Newport Beach for this game. Another interesting differential between the two teams. St. Francis has 87 players, or 87 players with numbers, I mean. Corona Del Mar has over 100. St. Francis has won the toss, and they will receive. So you can see that Corona Del Mar getting ready for this contest. I said a little while ago that they are coming off a very impressive win over Downey, California. That was a 57-20 score. And we're just about set to give it a go. I'll say one more time, the people that you might want to keep in mind as you're watching at home. People worth looking at on St. Francis, it'll be offensive guard Mos Mavau, quarterback Ryan Daly, offensive defensive line Antonio Vacamelialo, and offensive lineman Afa Sanfit. Sanft is at 6 foot, 310 pound offensive guard. It'll be interesting to see what the pass rush is like against this very, very solid offensive line of the Lancers. Just about set to go here. The kicker for Corona Del Mar would be number 19, Dane Voorhees. And Voorhees also doubles as a quarterback from time to time. And here we go. Kicked line drive out over to the left hash mark, and that'll go out of bounds at about the 18-yard line, and that's where the St. Francis Lancers will take over. Quarterback Ryan Daly going to be under center. Daly is a big playmaker. He made a number of outstanding touchdown passes last year against, among others, Valley Christian, Archbishop Reardon, Bellarmine, Mitty, Sarah, Aragon, you name it. And MaxPreps.com has rated him as a player to watch. This is his second year on the varsity. So we'll see what he can do on this first series. 1st and 10 for the Lancers at about their own 19. Handoff through the A gap, and he gets past. Got out to about the 26-yard line. That was Camilo Arquette, number 6, who was there. He's a sophomore. Last year, Camilo rushed for 56 yards on 212 carries as a running back. That's an average of 28 yards per game, and he's looking to improve that average right now. First and 10. A broken play there. That was a short gain. And that was a gain of maybe 3 on that. That'll bring up a 2nd and 7 now. So far, the offensive line of the Lancers has done a pretty good job in opening holes. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Daly goes to his passing game, which he has not done so far. Daly, a 6'5", 205-pound senior. 2nd and 7. Man in motion. Hands off again, this time over to the right side. That's Adonis Hernandez with the ball there. Hernandez, we don't have a lot of tape or numbers on him, but we do know it's his 2nd year on the varsity, and we know that he picked up a first down for the Lancers. So far, the Lancers have gone exclusively to their running game, but it's been successful for them. First and 10 at about their own 38. 3 setbacks. Handing off again. Again over the right side. Off tackle. That was Adonis Hernandez again. And that'll bring it down, bring it up to a 2nd and 6. Again, a good B-gap run there by the Lancers. And 2 of those carries have been to Adonis Hernandez. He'll have some numbers on maxpreps.com by the time this night is over. 2nd and 6. They're set. Again, 3 setbacks. No wide receivers. Again, handing off to the B-gap. There's Hernandez again. He's out to about the 48-yard line. And that'll bring up another first down for the Lancers. And the crowd is loving it. Mason Gesowitz, number 7 there, was there on the tackle for the Sea Kings. And St. Francis coming out again. Again, 3 setbacks. Handing off again. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard. Once again, Camilo Arquette there. And he picked up 2, a little better than we thought. And maybe a missed assignment there, because that may be the shortest gain that the Lancers have on the ground so far. This time we have 2 wide receivers, 2 setbacks, I formation, 2nd and 8. Somebody jumped. And I think we may get an encroachment call against the Sea Kings unless they were drawn. It was encroachment or offside, so that'll tack on a few more yards for the Lancers, who had just made it into Sea King territory. So I think the ball will be placed at the Corona Del Mar 43-yard line, and the Lancers just keep coming. Once again, I formation, wideouts to the right and left. One on the right, just right on the line. They're set, and handoff again. Across the 40 to about the 39-yard line. And that was Arquette. Camilo Arquette is just a sophomore. 6 feet and 205 pounds, and it's his 2nd year. So he's been on this Lancer team virtually since he set foot on campus. And a 1st and 10. And right now the Lancers are kind of making it look easy. One again, 2 wideouts, I formation. The wide receiver off to the left, off the line a little bit. Handed off again to Arquette. And he'll pick up another 3, I think. Or make that 2, so it's a 2nd and 8 now. let me run this down for you for that offensive line. You've got 6'3", 325, 5'10", and 230, 6 feet and 310, 6'3", and 260, 6'1", and 275, 6 feet and 210. That is a tough offensive line in any level of football. And now out to pass, and he overthrows his intended receiver. That was Joey Scott over there to the left. And Daly perhaps feeling hurried or perhaps not executing the quick pass. That seemed like it might have been designed as a swing pass off to the left. Joey Scott wasn't able to get to that one.
3rd down and 8 at the 38-yard line.
Joey Scott, this is his first year on varsity, so he probably wants that one back because he wants a reception. 3rd and 8 now for the Lancers. And again, we've got what appears to be an encroachment on Corona Del Mar. And it is.
Offsides against the Sea Kings.
And that will push the Sea Kings back further into their own territory. Now on their 33-yard line. And the Lancers are getting pretty close to being in range for either Nick Ritchie or Philip Culbertson. Those are the 2 kickers on the team. We'll see who does the kicking when that time comes. 3rd and 3 now for Daly. Handing off. And I think he may have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. He might have even lost a yard on that. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Well, maybe you did gain something, but no, it is 4th and 2. So now St. Francis has to make a decision. Are they going to get the 3? Or are they going to take one more shot at this? Giving Corona Del Mar the football, even when they're in their own territory, is probably not wise. That looks like they're going to go for it. One wide out to the left. Single tight end, again, I formation. 4th and 2, they're set. There's pitch out. And he's stopped for a loss of probably at least 2, maybe more. And that will do it for that series, as Corona Del Mar will take over at about their own 36-yard line. So that was actually a loss of 3 on that play. And Corona Del Mar will now take over. Ethan Garbers is their quarterback. He's coming out of the gun. 4 wide receivers, 3 out to the left, and that's blown dead. We'll see what happens here. And that'll be delay of game against Corona Del Mar. That's the 3rd penalty. We've just got just under 6 minutes to go here. And they've already been hit with 15 yards worth of penalties. So probably some execution that Dan O'Shea is going to want to talk to the Sea Kings about when he gets a chance to. Out of the gun. Now handoff coming through the B gap. And he's down to about the 41-yard line. That was Jason Vicencio there with the run. Great job there by the offensive line.
Holden Hughes on the tackle.
Vicencio, 2nd year on the varsity, and he was named Offensive Player of the Game against Edison High School just about a year ago. 2nd and 2 now for the Sea Kings. Out of the gun, swing pass over to the left side. He gets by one defender, he gets by another. That's into the Lancer territory at about the 44-yard line. That'll bring up a 1st down for the Sea Kings. First conversion they've had. And the St. Francis cornerback would probably want that one back. There is a player down. It's Simon Hall. for the Sea Kings. He's being tended to. All right, we're going to step aside while Josh is being tended to. We'll be right back. 0-0 here at St. Francis. Simon Hall is off the field. He's being tended to. He was the person who got that reception there. So it's 1st and 10 for the Sea Kings. Again, out of the gun, quick handoff there. That was to Bradley Schlom. Schlom, I beg your pardon. Bradley Schlom, usually used as a receiver, but he can work out of the backfield too. We don't have a whole lot of statistics for him on his running. We know that his receiving yards are 1,234 since he has been a member of the Sea King varsity. So that's going to be marked. I believe it's going to be a 1st down. And the official's doing a little bit of work here on the field. Oh, it is false. A false start was charged there to Corona Del Mar. That's 4 penalties for a total of 20 yards. So far, St. Francis has not been hit with any penalties. So that may be something that the Sea Kings will live to regret as they go on. Oh, we have an offsetter there. Okay, so a personal foul against the Lancers there. I don't remember, or I can't see who was responsible for it. But the personal foul will be the one that will last, because a personal foul never goes unpunished. I didn't see what the particular offense was, but in any case, first down for the Sea Kings at the Lancer 35. Out of the gun, draw play action, and he's flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to have to run for it, and he's just going to turn tail and get out of there. And Garbers, I think, may have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Good for a 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Sea Kings at the Lancer 30-yard line. Again, bootleg, wide open there in the red zone, and that was to John Humphreys. Humphreys, also a basketball player. I don't know his height, but I do know he's been named player of the game for these Sea Kings 4 times since becoming a freshman. It's his 4th year on the varsity. And coming into this game, he had not quite 3,300 receiving yards. Garbers going again, and that one's just overthrown. That was intended for Humphreys, and that just went on out of bounds. That'll bring him a 2nd and 10. Back to John Humphreys, though. On average, he receives a pass that is 18 yards long. He's caught the ball 183 times, and he will rack up about 97 yards for you every single time. Second and 10 now. Oh, fumbled. And flags flying on that. That just looked like it was badly executed by the man in motion. So we'll see what happens here. That was going to be a loss. We'll see what the call is here by the officials.
Illegal procedure against the
And
Sea
illegal procedure against the Sea Kings. And that is going to sputter their motor just a little bit. So we'll see what they can do about this. Let's see that again. Not quite sure what the hang-up was there. Here we are.
Brings up 3rd down and 15.
So the man in motion, and I think it was just an attempt to sort of volley the ball to the man in motion, who then dropped it, and the referee said, no, no, you don't get to do that. Garbers going to the air. He hits his man, and he is out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. And I believe that was Schlom, but I could be wrong. Schlom, rather. And it's going to be 1st and goal for the Sea Kings, as that passing offense thus far has proven to be a match for the Lancer running game, and then some if they can get it into the end zone now. Out of the gun again, man in motion. This time they try the pass, or the shovel pass, and he's in. Touchdown. So the same play that caused an illegal procedure call now pays off for the Sea Kings. And here we are. Snap perfectly timed there. Good blocking, and Schlom was able to go virtually untouched before he broke the plane. And it's 6-0. Make that 7-0 for Corona Del Mar. So we'll be back and see what the Lancers can do. With 4:23 to go in the first quarter, it's 7-0 Corona Del Mar. Okay. We're back at St. Francis High School, where Corona Del Mar has opened up a 7-0 lead over the home team Lancers. Dane Voorhees, who was involved in some really big passing plays against Downey last week, is handling the kickoff duties for the 2nd time tonight. There it goes. Mishandled there by the return man. And he's spinning, trying to get a little bit of traction. That was Tyler Winston. Tyler's a 5'8", 190 junior. And when he's not running, he is backing up the line. So he may be doing some backfield duty as the Lancers come out for their 2nd offensive series. In the last series that we saw, St. Francis was hit by 1 personal foul penalty, and Corona Del Mar had 5 penalties counted against them, and they were still able to punch it in. There's a no, and he loses the ball. St. Francis had it, and Corona Del Mar thinks they have it. And they could blow the game open right now if they do. I believe St. Francis kept that one. But just bad ball handling there. And for all that, they managed to get a game of 2 after all that. So good things do happen. 2nd and 8 now for the Lancers at their 27-yard line. Now he's going to go to the air. Probably feeling a little hurried over the middle, and brilliantly defensed there. That was Chandler Fincher, the cornerback, who broke that pass up. And that is textbook. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Fincher has made 41 tackles in the last year. He averages 2.7. He's deflected 7 passes, make that 8 passes, and he's picked the ball off twice. So when you're trying to complete a pass against Chandler Fisher, you have a job. And that's what the Lancers just found out. 3rd and 8 now for St. Francis at their own 27-yard line. We're just under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. And a whistle goes. And there's going to be a timeout on the field. We'll step aside while the teams talk to each other. It's 7-0 Corona Del Mar.
Next weekend, all 3 Lancer football teams will travel to Concord.
We're back at St. Francis High School, where the Lancers down 7 and with 8 to go to get a first down. Let's see what Ryan Daly can do. He's gone almost exclusively to his ground game so far. He's out of the gun, got 4 wide receivers, 1 lone setback. Now he's being flushed out of the pocket. He's on the run, looking, and again broken up. And a flag is down. There may have been a pass interference there. We'll see what that was about. I think it might have been a pass interference from this angle. So we'll see what the officials have to say. Ryan Daly off talking to his coaches right now. And it was a pass interference. And that will give St. Francis a little bit of breathing room. That will bring it up to the Lancer 42-yard line, and they'll get a fresh set of downs. But the blitz that the Sea Kings threw there at the Lancers, I was surprised, unless that was a designed play, and I didn't see any indication that that was a screen. 3 wide receivers, and no, we have 2 wide receivers, 2 setbacks for first down. He's got the ball, handoff through the A-gap, and he'll be thrown back just a bit. That's Camilo Arquette there. St. Francis offensive line is been doing a great run blocking job. So far, the passing game hasn't shown as many results. We don't have the specific numbers, but we're seeing that the running game, as was predicted, has been the bread and butter for these St. Francis Lancers. I formation, 2 setbacks, 2 wideouts. Now he's rolling right. Caught at about the 50. He manages to get away, and he's down at about the 48-yard line. And that was Karsten Rawls who caught that one. That'll be a first down. Karsten Rawls, we don't have any numbers on him as a receiver, but we do know that he returns a lot of kicks, and he'll average 21 yards per return. So once he gets the ball, he knows what to do with it. It's his 2nd year on the varsity. 1st and 10 now at the Sea King 46. They're set. Handoff again. And this time, he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Well, he did pick up 1. That was a gang tackle there. I didn't see who was in, but so we'll call that a Cole Renner, I think might have been the middle linebacker there, but we'll call that a group effort. 2nd and 9 now for the Lancers. 2 wide receivers off to the left. 1 in the slot. And straight ahead run up the gut there, if you will, and that's by Joe Tongamoa.
Tongamoa, the ball carrier, brought down by Crow.
And he had a number of great TD runs. He actually works as a fullback when he's not running, he's blocking. It's his 2nd year on the varsity. So let's see Tongamoa again as the clock is winding down here in the 1st period. And I don't know, St. Francis is going to try to get off one more play. And a quick handoff back across the line of scrimmage. He'll get to about the 33. And I think the Lancers may just let this one go. There's about 9 seconds left on the scoreboard clock. They do pick up the 1st down. And the Lancers are just going to let this one go. So they're driving, but we are going to take a moment for the teams to recombobulate. We'll be back in just a second for the beginning of the 2nd quarter. It's Corona Del Mar 7, St. Francis nothing. Be right back. And we're back for the 2nd quarter of tonight's contest as the Lancers driving now. 1st and 10 on the Sea King 33. Quick handoff there. And that was again Joe Tongamoa. And he is known for touchdown runs. And if you're 6'2" and 240, you better have some serious upper body strength if you want to take him down. So it's 2nd and 6 now. The Lancers have it at the 29. Last time they lost the ball on downs. Going back to pass, going off to the left side, and out, in and out of the hands of the wideout. That was for Joey Scott, I believe, number 7. Joey Scott, this is his 1st year on the varsity. And so he's got some learning to do. He is 6'3", 190 pounds, and he's a senior. So relative latecomer to this squad. It's 3rd and 6 now for the Lancers. Daly under center. And some movement over on the left side. I think it may have been a false start. And it was against the Lancers. And that will stall their engine. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 now for the Lancers. Still probably within field goal range, but Greg Calcagno may not be satisfied with that. He may feel like he needs to get the 6. We'll see. Looks like we've got 4 wide receivers, 2 off the line. Out of the gun, lone setback. And fakes, now headed down the field, and it's broken up by the defender, and that was Tommy Griffin, the free safety, who was in on that, which gives you an idea of the kind of arm that Ryan Daly has. But Tommy Griffin, number 3, was able to come away with the tip. Tommy Griffin player of the game against Redondo Union a year ago. And once again, the Lancers are going for it in enemy territory. 4th and 11. Same formation as before. blitz picked up. And that one again overthrown, and the Lancers cough up the ball on downs. And the Corona Del Mar fans love it. So while Corona Del Mar is doing themselves in with penalties, the Lancers are doing themselves in with lack of execution, particularly in 3rd and 4th down situations. And now Corona Del Mar getting ready to go back out on the field with about 11:01 left in the half and pretty decent field position. They have it on their own 34. And Ethan Garbers looks like he's going to come out of the gun. 2 wide receivers, 1 setback. He's got it. Straight down. And he's brought down there by 2 or 3 brown shirts. And John Humphreys there again. Pick up of about 11 yards there by John Humphreys. John Humphreys is also a basketball player. I don't know what his height is, but I know that he's been on the varsity now. This is his 4th year, so he has lived and died a Sea King, if you will. Out of the gun again, 3 wide receivers. Now a quick handoff. Around and didn't get too much far out of the backfield. I think he may have been brought down at about the 49. Gain of maybe 3. Good responsiveness there.
Logan Herman on the tackle. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
So it was a gain of 3, so that's gain of 7. Logan Herman, number 44, the middle linebacker, had the stop there. Pistol formation. Play action. And in and out of the hands of Tommy Griffin. And that would have been maybe a 1st down, but Griffin couldn't hold on to it there. Griffin known as a free safety by and large, but they have him doubling as a wide receiver. 3rd and 7 now for the Sea Kings at their own 48-yard line. 3 wide outs all to the right. Out of the gun with 1 setback. Blitz coming. And not quite picked it, and it's picked off. And St. Francis with the INT against Ethan Garber. Let's see that one again. And he was flushed. He didn't really pick up the blitz. And there you have it. And it was Camilo Arquette as a linebacker who is coming to that one. And the Lancers take over. Quick handoff there. And that's Arquette again, and he's down to the Corona Del Mar 40. Gain of about 12 there, and that'll be a 1st down.
On the tackle. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Keep in mind, Camilo Arquette had 212 carries last year. He got 56 yards, and the average per game was 28 yards. 1st and 10 now. Lancers, they give it again. And Arquette barrels through a couple of linebackers to about the 36-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd and 6th.
Luke Sullivan on the tackle. Gain of 3.
No.
2nd and 7 at the 37.
And that interception has really sparked something inside the Lancers as they realize their defense came to play too. 2 wide outs. 2 setbacks. Again, a quick handoff. This time it's to 42. That is Joe Tongamoa. And Tongamoa, and he's going to be close to a first down. I think he may be about 2 yards short. Tongamoa, the fullback. You don't see the fullback used a whole lot in the pros and not so much in college anymore, but in high school, it appears to be a permanent fixture. At least it is for these St. Francis Lancers. Oh, a little bit of a miscue there. Ran into his running back. Now he's being flushed left. Marker down, and he'll scamper out of bounds. Will old Ryan Daly. And it was thrown in the backfield. And it would, and St. Francis will get called for the hold. And again, a drive into enemy territory set back by a simple mistake. I don't see who was called for the hold. But that'll take it back to the Sea King 43 or so. And that'll bring up 3rd and 14 for the Lancers. Daly now coming back into the game. Camilo Arquette is lining up. He may or may not be the runner. 4 wide receivers. 1 setback, and Daly be coming out of the gun again. He has the ball. He's going for it. Downfield, and it's picked off by Corona Del Mar. And the defensive back didn't get very far, but Corona Del Mar has come away with it again. They have dodged another bullet. And that was Zach Green, number 23, the 5'11 senior defensive back, who took that away. Let's see that one again. St. Francis, in their moving the ball club, Daly kind of taking his time, and he was looking for Joey Scott, who was probably double teamed, and it was a little underthrown. So Zach Green will get the pick for Corona Del Mar. And the whistle goes. We think someone may have jumped. Although I don't see a penalty flag. Don't quite see what the stoppage in play was, but that's all right. Jonathan Green, who got that pickoff just a moment ago, he was on the JV last year. This is his first year on the varsity, and this is a night he won't forget. Handoff quickly now. And gang tackled, and that time there is a flag on the play. It's thrown at about the 15-yard line. I didn't see what the game was. It looked to be about 5 or 6. But we'll see what the referees have to say. And it's a hold against Corona Del Mar. That's the 7th penalty that the Sea Kings have been hit with tonight. And we're not halfway through this thing. And we are not even halfway through the second quarter yet. And that will put the Sea Kings at about their own 5-yard line. And this may be the worst field position they've had all night. And the Lancers may smell blood here. Let's see what their defense can do against the running game. We know what they can do against the pass. 3 wide receivers. He's coming out of the gun. He is back to pass. And it's a bullet, and it's caught at about the 30-yard line by Bradley Schlom. And that'll be a first down and a badly needed one for Corona Del Mar. And another one out to the right flat for a short gain on that one.
Complete to Humphreys. Brought down by Hughes. Gain of 8.
Schloem got that big pass there a moment ago. He caught the ball 79 yards, or 79 times last year. And he usually averages about 82 yards of reception yards per game. 2nd and 2 now for the Sea Kings. Good protection. And managed to beat one tackle, but not the second one. That was Logan Herman who tripped him up. And that will be enough for a first down as the Sea Kings keep coming.
And Herman on the tackle.
3 wide receivers here on first down. Screen pass there. And it's working as he is all the way down to the 30-yard line of St. Francis. And that was Jason Vicencio. Yeah, let's see that one again, shall we? Now, Vicencio has got 819 rushing yards, and up until now, he only had 113 receiving yards. So he's going to tack a few more on there all day long. And that one, and Corona Del Mar is yelling for a hold or a pass interference. I don't think they're going to get it. As I was saying, Jason Vicencio, better known as a rusher than as a receiver, playing 14 games, but he has scored 5 touchdowns. So we'll see now. It's 2nd and 10 now for the Sea Kings. Garber's coming out of the gun. Nope, play action. And was that good? I believe it was. That'll bring it down to about the 21, maybe the 22-yard line of the Lancers. And that was Espiritu on the tackle there for St. Francis. Logan Espiritu, he's a 5'9", 170-pound junior. And it's 3rd and 3 now for the Sea Kings. Two wide outs. Play action. And he decides he's going to keep it himself, and he's down to about the 16-yard line, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Sea Kings. As Garber's perhaps not seeing what he wanted downfield and seeing that his offensive line had maybe overachieved there a little bit, decided it was time to take a run. So 1st and 10 now for Corona Del Mar. Garber's, and he got rid of it, and he got rid of it in a hurry. That'll bring it down to about the 9, maybe the 10-yard line, which brings up a 2nd and 4 now for the Sea Kings. Beautiful execution there by Corona Del Mar, fooling everybody on the field and probably in the stadium, because they certainly got the announcer fooled. 2nd and 4. Out of the gun, play action. Throwing for the end zone. And did he get in? He did. Touchdown, Sea Kings. And I think that might have been Mark Redmond, number 81, who got the catch there. Let's see if we can see that one again. Garber's out of the gun. Again, the fake, and then over to the left side. And that was very close, but the referee did say yes, he got in. And the point after, and yes, it's good. So, with 5:20 left in the first half, the Lancers down 14-0 against the visiting Sea Kings. We'll see what they have to say about it for the rest of this quarter when we come back. We're back at St. Francis High School, and the Sea Kings squib kicking it, and it is picked up inside the 40-yard line of St. Francis. And Corona Del Mar is on the move again. And St. Francis just did not see that coming. Perfectly executed squib kick, and it might have been touched by a Lancer because, well, now they may be saying that St. Francis has it. Nope, it is Corona Del Mar ball. And so now the Sea Kings, after more, already having a 14-point lead over the home team Lancers, who are having their season opener here at home. And this is not what their fans came to see. So it's placed at the 37-yard line. And they're on the move again. Two wideouts, both to the right. One setback. I think it might be Vincencio. Back to pass. Going for all the marbles, and he got it. Touchdown. Corona Del Mar, and just like that, in the space of 2 minutes, and it's gonna come back as a result of a holding penalty against Corona. We're gonna see that again. I missed the hold, but that's gotta be a heartbreaker for their teams. And if there was a hold, I didn't see it anywhere close. But nonetheless, it's going to be first and, I guess, 15 maybe? Or 20. And St. Francis dodging a big bullet there, because this game would have been blown wide open if that touchdown had held. So Garbers, the handoff. Breaks through the line, breaks a couple of tackles, and he's down to about the 45 of St. Francis. As the clock continues to run, under 5 minutes to go in the half.
Throw the flag! Number 8! Number 8! Come on, ref! Watch number 8!
Second down, and they're going to call that 18, I guess, at the 45. Oh, and that will be offside against the Lancers, which will not help their cause late here in the first half. I think it may have been the left end there. And that'll make it 2nd and 13 for the Sea Kings.
2nd and 13 at the 40.
So now Garbers. Out of the shotgun. Quick handoff there to the lone setback, who gets, he's still going, and he's down to about the 28 or the 27. And that should be enough for a first down, or it's very close. I believe that was Jason Vicencio, the running back. And he's got great form for a running back. 5'8", 176. He's a junior, and he can move. And it's 3rd and 1, so they didn't quite get it. Short yardage situation, 2 wideouts, 1 in the slot. And another quick handoff. It may have been to Vicencio, and he's still going, and he'll have the first down and more as he gets into about the 16 of the Lancers. So they are in the St. Francis red zone. Once again, Jason Vicencio.
1st and 10 at the 16.
And Vicencio's still got another year of football after this. So he will be an important cog in this Corona Del Mar offense. And maybe we'll see you this time next year and see how he's doing. In any case, 1st and 10 now. 2 wideouts. 1 setback. 1 man off the line. Rolling right. And passes out to John Humphreys, and that'll be down to about the 5. And 1st and 10. Or no, 2nd and 1, I beg your pardon. Wide right, wide left. Play action. Going for the end zone, and it's in there. I don't see any flags. And it is a touchdown for Corona Del Mar, and this one will stick. And Bradley Schlom doing what he does best. So let's see that one again. And again, it gives you an idea of how well Corona Del Mar is executing in its offense. So again, the play action, bullet, right where it needed to be, completely fooled the St. Francis secondary. 6 more points for the Kings. Now the extra point. And yes, it's good. Dane Voorhees got that one. And so far, this has just been unfortunate for the St. Francis Lancers. So we'll take a timeout while we get set up for the kickoff. 2:47 to go in the first half. It's 21-0 Corona Del Mar over St. Francis. Well, the sun is setting here in Mountain View, California. It's a very pretty view, but I feel like the St. Francis Lancers must feel like the world has been just dropped on their shoulders, because in their season opener at home, they are being shut out 21-0 by Corona Del Mar. And it may be a very unpleasant halftime for these St. Francis Lancers inside that Lancer locker room. And this is a straightaway kick. Fielded at about the 25, I think. And so St. Francis will go back to work. Ryan Daly, their quarterback.
Ball spotted at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 Lancers.
He'll take over at the 29-yard line. The Sea Kings have all 3 of their timeouts left. The Lancers have 2. We'll see how big a factor that is. And we'll see if St. Francis can get on the board. I think they really want to before the break. So we'll see what they can do. 3 wideouts, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 setback. Blitz coming, and brilliant catch there. That was taken by Travis Belzide. And he's also a lacrosse player, and he gained 4 there. He averages 25 yards per reception, or he did last year, and it's his 2nd year on the varsity. Again, now off to the left flat, and that one was also complete. Got up to about the 37, maybe the 38. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Clock stopped, maybe he got out of bounds. it'll be a 3rd and 2 now for the Lancers.
At the 37-yard line.
Making good progress. Again, they still have 2 timeouts. Trying to get on the board before the break. 4 wide receivers, 2 slot. Low snap. And quick, maybe a shovel pass there to Camilio Arquette, and he'll have enough for the first down there. Tricky, and it worked. And I think they got out to their own 40-yard line, and that's a fresh set of downs, and that's what the Lancers want right now.
1st and 10 at the 40.
Daly letting the clock run. And that one just over the head and out of the reach of the wide receiver there. I think it may have been Joey Scott. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. We're just under 2 minutes here.
Help on the coverage.
Second and 10 now for the Lancers. They're set. Fires. And also just out of the reach of, that was Belziti. And that was Ryan Daly, the quarterback there. Some very good coverage there by Corona Del Mar. That is an amazing secondary. I think that may have been Mason Jakowitz. Third and 10 now for the Lancers. They've got to convert if they want to get on the board. And somebody jumped, and I think there may have been an offside there. Again by Corona Del Mar. And it is. The confounding thing about Corona Del Mar is that they have been hit with 9 penalties in the first half alone, and yet look at the scoreboard. So perhaps it says more about the execution of the Lancers than it does about the mistakes of the Sea Kings. But we'll see what happens here in the second half. Out of the gun, quick handoff, and he got about 3, maybe 4. Not nearly enough for a first down, so that's bringing up a 4th and 5 or maybe 6. And St. Francis is going to decide what they're going to do here. They may take a timeout. And they do. No, it was Corona Del Mar that took the timeout. So we'll take a timeout too. We'll take a timeout too, and we'll see you back here in just a second. You're looking at Greg Calgagno, the St. Francis coach, coming from a long family. His father, Ron, was the football coach and the athletic director here for many years, and I myself attended St. Francis Sports Camp as a young man. Ron ran that one. Hope Ron's doing well tonight wherever he is. Fair catch called for the punt there. That punt was caught at around the 26, no, I take that back, the 16-yard line. And so Corona Del Mar with a 21-point lead, not great field position. And less than 2 minutes in this half. It'll be interesting to see whether they're going to go for more or whether they're going to go to their ground game and just let this one sort of wrap itself up for the half. Well, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Sea Kings. Back to pass. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, runs to his right, and he's going to go upfield. And he'll get to about the 29, maybe the 30, and that'll be enough for a first down, and he's still got 127 to play with.
Plays good for a first down.
And that's why
First and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Ethan Garbers is headed to the University of Washington next year. If you're a Pac-12 football fan, as I am, he'll be something to watch. First down again out of the gun, back to pass, short drop, and I'm not sure, was that complete? It was,
Number 6.
and it may have gone at about the 36, maybe the 37, or a little bit farther. No, it's the 39, I beg your pardon. So it brings up a 2nd and 1. Man in motion. Out of the shotgun, direct throw there. And he gets into Lancer territory. That is John Humphreys. And Humphreys is going to Stanford next year. And he'll be somebody to watch.
First and 10 at the 48.
First and 10, and the Sea Kings are letting the clock run. Again, good protection there. And the receiver had to come back in a little bit. There was Bradley Schlom.
Carver's pass intended for Schlom. Ball's incomplete.
And that was incomplete. I think he may have trapped it there. But great pass protection. Where Garbers probably could have waited until February to get that pass off. Clock stopped at 1:01 now. Out of the gun again. 3 wide receivers. And again, great protection. Lets it go, and it's going to be broken up, almost picked off there. That was M.J. Artmore Jr. And MJ, this is his first year on the varsity, and he's certainly making a name for himself with plays like that. About 53 seconds left. It's a 3rd and 10 now for Corona Del Mar. And St. Francis may get another shot at this if they can hold the Sea Kings. 2 wide receivers, 1 man in motion, and flipped there. And he's trying to get around the end, and he's dragged down. And Corona Del Mar doesn't like the way that was approached. That's Bradley Schlom. He may have picked up 1, but not very much. Corona Del Mar wants a holding call, but they're not going to get it. That brings up a 4th and 10. Less than 30 seconds to go.
4th down and 7.
You're missing the game, ref.
Corona Del Mar fans making their displeasure known there. And I think Corona Del Mar may be quite happy just to let this one go. No, they're going to try to get 1 more play off. Again, 3 wide receivers. They're going to get the snap off. They do. As time expires, a bullet down there and off the left hand of the receiver. I don't see who that was, but that might have been Mark Redmond. But that's going to do it for the first half. And St. Francis is going to have to dig deep in this second half if they're going to come back, because they're down 21-0 to the Corona Del Mar Sea Kings. Well, they're taking a halftime, so will we. We'll be back for the second half. Don't go away. Halftime at St. Francis High School, all Corona Del Mar, 21-0. And that's in spite of 9 that the Sea Kings were hit with during the first half. St. Francis is hit with 3 penalties by contrast. it seems like it's a matter of execution, because in spite of a crippling number of penalties for most teams, Corona Del Mar has been able to execute and come back every single time they've made a mistake. Now, that may have something to do with the fact that this is their second game of the season. They played against Downey last week and won. I believe the score is 57-20. St. Francis, this is their first time at the rodeo for this year. So they have not faced an opponent up until now, and they have not faced an opponent probably that is as highly ranked as they are. To put it in contrast for you, the Lancers are ranked 90th in the state of California, whereas Corona Del Mar is ranked 15th in the Golden State. So, although it may look like a mismatch, if you followed these St. Francis Lancers for any length of time, you know they cannot be counted out until the time has expired at the end of the fourth quarter. What we're seeing is that although the Lancer offensive line has done a nice job in containing any blitzes that Corona Del Mar has thrown at them, the Corona Del Mar secondary has done an even better job at defending against the pass. And while the Lancer running game is in pretty good shape, I don't have the numbers with me, but by all accounts, they have been successful. They are down 21-0 nevertheless. And as if that isn't bad enough for the Lancers, Corona Del Mar will get the ball first in this second half. So we'll see what's coming up here. It's Nick Ritchie who will be doing the kicking here to start this second half. This is his first year on the varsity, and he also doubles as a wide receiver and a defensive back. Line drive kick, and it's taken at about the 8. Fakes a lateral, and now he's on the run, and he managed to gets away from another tackle, gets away again, gets away a fourth time. He's at the 45, he's at midfield, he may go all the way. He's got a block, and he will do it. Touchdown, Corona Del Mar. And Chandler Fincher may not have been touched that entire time. What looked to be about a 90-yard run. And we're going to see that again. The scoreboard hasn't been adjusted yet, but I didn't see a penalty flag. Got around, got away again, got away from a block from behind, did get another block, got a block right there, heading around the left side, heading all the way, got a block from 31 there, didn't quite finish the job, but he did manage to get in, and now he's coming back out on the field. So apparently something happened that the officials didn't like. Well, they didn't get the points for that, but a very impressive run nonetheless. And now Corona Del Mar, which has got to be heartbroken at that, is going to start off at their own 10-yard line. We'll try to find out what happened there to negate what was apparently a brilliant run for a touchdown. Now, that's a completion from Garbers to Humphreys, and that is almost the battery for Corona Del Mar right now. And a gain of 5 there. So I've just gotten word that there was an illegal block in the back by Corona Del Mar during the run back, and that took away 7 points or 6 points from the Sea Kings. So St. Francis may have dodged a bullet there. He's got the snap. Quick handoff there. That was Mose Vavau who was in on the tackle there. Not sure if he gained anything on that. Looks like that's going to be a 3rd and 5 now from the 15. So the St. Francis run defense stiffening up. Well, they did gain 1 on that. And Humphrey did get the catch there, and that'll bring up that's a 1st down.
Gain of 6. 1st and 10 at
So
the 21
Mose Vavau, whom I started to mention a little while ago, he got 1.5 sacks last year and 8 tackles, 3 solo and 5 combined. So he's going to play an important role here. 1st and 10 now. Garbers with the ball. It's tipped and it's picked. St. Francis got it, and I believe that was Logan Herman, the middle linebacker, who came up with that. And that gives the Lancers excellent field position, and that's a 2nd ball that has bounced their way. And let's see that one again.
Lancers take over 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Garber takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and a short pass. That may have been an ineligible receiver in any case. That was an awfully quick pass. Logan Herman came up with it. And there's Camilo Arquette going through that B gap there. Logan Herman had 15 tackles last year as the middle linebacker. And he's also worked very well as a fullback. And it's his 2nd year on the varsity, and he's got a pick for tonight. So St. Francis now on the move again. 2nd and 3. Handoff again. And this time he was able to get down to maybe the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. That's Camilo Arquette again. That should be enough for a 1st down, and it is. And St. Francis in the red zone again. And can they execute this time? They've been stymied in their last couple of attempts. And now they're coming to the line. Daly has the ball, gives it again to Arquette. He held on to it. It looked for a minute there like he might have lost it, but and that'll bring it down to the 6-yard line. And this may be the best field position that the Lancers have had all night tonight. And if they can't get it done here, their coach is going to be very disappointed. Has the ball. Okay, handing off again. Now going off tackle, and he was stopped right there. He may have come for a loss.
Gain of 2.
No, he actually did pick up a couple there, so that brings up a 3rd and 3.
3rd and goal at the 3-yard line.
So this is the best field position that St. Francis has had. The ball. And he's in. That is Camilo Arquette in for the score. And St. Francis is on the board. With 8:04 to go in the 3rd period, and the Lancers strike gold after being saved from a 28-point deficit thanks to an illegal block in the back, and after a very fortunate pickoff there by Logan Herman, St. Francis is able to capitalize. And the extra point is up, and it is good.
Off of Quinn's hold, Richie's kick is good.
So with 8:04 to play, the Lancers have made it into a game again. And we'll see what happens and how Corona Del Mar responds when we come back. It's 21-7 Sea Kings. We'll be back to St. Francis High School in just a moment.
Fincher and Griffin deep to receive. Nick Ritchie to kick.
We're back here at St. Francis High School, where the fans have come alive as their Lancers are on the board and looking for more. And Ritchie with the kickoff, fielded at about the 10-yard line. He gets away from one tackle, and he'll end up at about the 34-yard line, so about a 24-yard return there. The returner there was Tommy Griffin.
Brought down by Espiritu.
And Tommy Griffin, not known for returning kickoff as much, but he has returned punts for a few yards. Something that was pointed out to me, Ethan Garbers, we've made a lot about him being at UW next year. His brother is the starting quarterback at Cal, and they'll have their season opener against UC Davis tomorrow. So good luck to the Bears and the Aggies. Now steps up, and that one just out of reach of Bradley Schloem.
Falls incomplete.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Pressured by number 58.
Afasant on the pressure there, on the playing nose guard there, and the 6 foot flat and 310-pound nose guard, or whatever he weighs, managed to get some pressure there on the quarterback. And receiver dropped there near the marker. He may be a little short of the first down. That's Schloem again. And they are going to move the chain, so that'll be a first down for the Sea Kings.
First and 10 at the 45.
Two wideouts, one setback. Some movement along the line. Somebody jumped. Corona Del Mar said St. Francis did.
False start, Sea Kings.
No, it is the Sea Kings.
Come on, Sea Kings, wake up!
And so that'll stall their drive just a little bit. Now 1st and 15 for Garbers and company. The 11th penalty leveled against the Sea Kings. So far, that has not been a factor in their scoring drives, but it may become one as this game goes on. Now, quick pass, and it's in and out of the hands, and it was well covered there. Arquette was not going to let him get any further anyway. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 15. Second incomplete pass in a row there from Garbers.
2nd down and 15 at the 40-yard line.
Garbers getting the field from, or the play from the sideline, no huddle. Slot receivers on the right, one receiver on the left. Set back, back to pass, straight over the middle, and it's caught, and he will take it down to about the 46-yard line. That was John Humphreys once again. Garber and Humphreys, both seniors, so they've both known each other for quite a while.
Andrighetto and Hughes in on the tackle.
Humphreys has been on the varsity 1 year longer than Garbers has. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 now for the Sea Kings. They are in Lancer territory. Pass is caught there. That'll be good enough for the first down, and he may go. And he's in. Touchdown. Corona Del Mar. Great run after catch there. And that's Bradley Schlom doing what he does best. He came into this game with 13 receiving touchdowns, and that makes number 14. And he doesn't score any other way except through. We're going to see that again. Garbers takes the snap, about a 4-yard drop, manages to get away and just ripping through that St. Francis secondary. Point was good there. And just like that, the 21 point has been reestablished for Corona Del Mar. So we'll take a timeout while the rest of the group does. 6:16 to play in the 3rd quarter, 28-7 Sea Kings. We're back at St. Francis High School where Corona Del Mar has reestablished strategic control of this game with a quick scoring drive to reestablish a 21-point lead, 28-7 over the Lancers. And Dane Voorhees coming in to kick again. And it's a short kick, bouncing, and it's fumbled and fielded again. And the receiver decides not to take any chances. He just falls on it. That's Camilio Arquette, if I'm not mistaken, who got that. So the Lancers will take over on their own 24-yard line. 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
And Ryan Daly back under center for the Lancers. He's got 3 setbacks. Handing off. And a nice run, and he got past the secondary. He's going past the safety, and the safety's going to drag him down on what might have been a face mask penalty. But there's no flag apparently, and he's down all the way to the 45-yard line. And he is slow in getting up, and he's limping. That's Joe Tongamoa.
Come on, Brock.
And he's going to go sit down a little bit. And that may be a critical injury. Tongamoa, known for being a great runner as a fullback. And if he is injured, then that takes a weapon out of the arsenal of the Lancers. Again, 3 setbacks here. Handoff again. Down the middle. And that was taken by Tyler Winston, the 5'8", 190-pound junior.
Wing on the tackle.
Winston is experienced as a running back. He picked up 57 yards last year. 2nd year on the varsity, and it's 2nd down and 6. Oh. And penalty flags flying all over the place. I think that might have been Nofo Talalauli. Number 44 there. No, number 64.
Second and 11 at the 46.
hand it off again. And I think he may have been lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that one. He may have even taken a loss.
Hernandez, the ball carrier. Gain of 1.
That was Adonis Hernandez there on the run. He saw a lot of action early in the game.
Gain of 1.
He did pick up 1 yard, but that brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Lancers, and they have not done well generally in 3rd down conversions so far tonight. And we think Corona Del Mar may have called a timeout. So we'll step aside while they get that sorted out. We'll be right back.
The boys water polo.
We're back, and St. Francis facing a 3rd and 10 now, just inside or just outside the 45-yard line of the Sea Kings. 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end just lining up. And going over the middle, going for all the marbles, and he's got it! He's down to about the 4, maybe the 3, or as close as the 2-yard line. And that, I think that may have been Karsten Rawls. It was Karsten Rawls. And that'll bring up a 1st and goal for the Lancers. Let's see that again. Rawls doesn't have that many reps as a wide receiver, but you could have fooled me. And if it had not been for Connor McDonald there, and there would be more points on the board for the Lancers. And Arquette stops short of the goal line there with an ocean of white shirts around him. That'll bring up 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal at the 1.
It's marked at the 1-yard line. A lot of defensive substitutions here for the Sea Kings, realizing they have their backs to the wall. And perhaps worried about giving the Lancers too much confidence. 3 scores down is not insurmountable by any means. Handoff, and he's in. That's Joe Tongamoa, who we thought might have sustained an ankle injury of some kind, but he is back. And gets the 6 for the Lancers as the gun goes off, signaling another St. Francis touchdown. And again, the Lancer offensive line proving why they are so highly rated within the state of California and, of course, within the West Catholic Athletic League. Now for the extra point. And yes, it's good. It was Nick Ricci there. And again, St. Francis refusing to go quietly on their home field. We'll take a timeout. It's 28-14 Sea Kings, 3:11 to go in the 3rd quarter. Don't go away. We're back at St. Francis High School, where the Lancer offense has reconstituted itself big time. 28-14, so they are still down, but they have come alive in a way that no one could have imagined in this first half. So here comes Ritchie with the kickoff. Fielded at about the 7. He's out to the 30. He's out to the 40, and he may go. No. Oh, he gets away again. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. 10. I don't see any flags on the field, and Corona Del Mar, this one they're going to take to the bank. And just like that, Corona Del Mar, one play later, reestablishes control.
Where's the cannon now? Oh.
What a response there. And Bradley Schlone, once again, he's off to the races. He gets some great blocks downfield. And the Lancers had no chance once he got down the field. He was gone. And St. Francis special teams becoming a recurring problem tonight. Dane Voorhees, the extra point is up and it's good. So 35-14, and St. Francis hasn't found a way to stop playing catch-up. We've got 2:56 to go in the third period and then 12 minutes of football after that. Let's see what the Lancers can figure out. Let's see what the Sea Kings can come up with to maintain their lead. We'll be back. We're back as the Sea Kings take over 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line after a fair catch on a punt from St. Francis. Back to pass, and that one was broken up masterfully by MJ Artmore. And MJ Artmore, not a lot of tape on him, not a lot of numbers on him, but he did a great job of reaching in there and breaking up and Ethan Garber's pass. 2nd and 10 now for the Sea Kings. Two wide receivers. Looks like there might be two tight ends, one setback. Faked it, and pass is complete out across the 35. That may be enough for a first down. And that was to John Humphreys, the future Stanford Cardinal player. And it is a first down. 1st and 10 at the 37 for Corona Del Mar. Out of the gun. One setback, one off the line, two wide receivers, one in the slot. And faked, and he's going way down the field, and I don't know that there was anybody even remotely around there. And in the pros, that might draw some more attention. That was intended for Schlone, but I didn't see him anywhere around there. In any case, it's second and 10 now, with about 30 seconds left on the scoreboard clock for the third quarter. Garber's out of the gun. He has it. Back to pass. Over the middle. And the receiver gave a stiff arm to Liam Quinn, number 22, and just said, "Get out of my way." And that was Mark Redman, the senior. Mark Redman, who has been named an offensive player of the game and has pulled down 919 yards in his 3 years on the varsity. He's on his 4th now, of course. First down. And running straight through, gets away from 2, gets away from 3, and down to about the 29-yard line. And that's Riley Binnequist, who has been relatively quiet so far. But he has 145 rushing yards in his 2 years on the varsity, averages about 6 yards a carry. And that's his 26th carry, and as I say that, the time expires, so we are 3 quarters into this thing. Corona Del Mar driving and sitting on a 21-point lead. We'll be back for the 4th quarter in just a moment. We're back, and it has been a story of dueling touchdowns for the past several minutes. Corona Del Mar holding on to a 35-14 lead. Another short kick, this time cleanly fielded. And St. Francis, their special teams, and that may have been a little uncalled for there, one of those tackles there. And a Corona Del Mar player limping off the field, not looking happy. That's Brian Sandlin, number 22.
Chase Grow on the tackle.
And he may need to take a bit of a rest, but the Lancers have it 1st and 10 on their own 27-yard line. As their offense is finally beginning to click, the question is, can they hold off the special teams, especially the special teams and the offense of the pesky Sea Kings? Pitched out, and he managed to get away from one, but he's going to be thrown for a loss there of at least 2 yards, maybe more.
Wayne and Rottler on the tackle. Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12.
I think that may have been Tyler Winston who had the carry there. Winston is 5'8" and 190 pounds. Not a giant by any stretch of the imagination. It was a loss of 2. 2nd and 12 now. Another quick handoff. And that was to Tongamoa. And the fullback,
Griffin and Scott on the tackle.
all 240 pounds of him, gets up to about the 30. That'll bring up a 3rd and 7. So it does make up for the loss on the previous play.
Third down
And St. Francis, all during the first half, I don't know that they made a single 3rd down conversion. They have been somewhat better in the 3rd quarter. 2 wide receivers, 2 setbacks, play action. He's going over the middle, and he overthrows his receiver there. And that was Rawls.
Pitcher on the coverage.
And that's disappointing. So now the Lancers are facing a situation where they may have to kick it away. Rawls a heck of a runner, but wasn't able to come up with that one. And the punter, the punting team, or the punting unit rather, is on the field for St. Francis.
Bradley Schlom deep to receive. Ryan Daly to punt.
Daly, who has been the quarterback, he'll actually be doing the kicking duties on this play. And he gets away with a dandy. Fair catch called at about the 25-yard line, and that's where Corona Del Mar will take over.
Fair caught by Schlom.
We'll step aside while the Sea Kings get things together. They're up by 21 with 1:14 left to go in the 3rd period. We'll be back. And we're back with a vengeance, as Corona Del Mar going for a 6th touchdown there, and
Coverage pass intended for Hunter.
very well covered
Number
there.
10.
And that was MJ Artmore again. Now, Artmore is only a sophomore, but if he keeps up like this, he could probably stay for a 5th year at St. Francis if he wanted to. So that brings up a 2nd and 10 now for Ethan Garbers and the Sea Kings. Garbers has it. Handoff there. Trying to turn the corner, and he may have picked up a couple there.
Binquist the ball
That was Binquist. He'll get a few more to his rushing yards. Binquist, when he scores a touchdown, he will do it with his feet. Not known for getting a whole lot of backfield work. And that one's going to be called back because of an illegal shift. The Sea Kings, 12 penalties, but they're still leading by 21 points, which I think tells you a little bit about how resilient they are. And it also may indicate that St. Francis still hasn't figured out an answer, and they're running out of time to do so. We're in the fourth quarter now. 21 points, not insurmountable, but by no means easy to overcome. 2nd and 15 now for Corona Del Mar. Garbers has it, falls back, long pass downfield and out of reach, and Humphreys wants a pass interference, but he's not going to get it. There was some great coverage there. That was Liam Quinn and Holden Hughes on the coverage there. Almost a double team there, either by accident or by purpose. 3rd and 15 now. As Garbers, again out of the shotgun. Got a slot receiver and one to the right. Fakes the handoff, bootlegs it, and a short pass. And probably not, well, I don't know if he got all the English on that he wanted to. That was incomplete, and so it's 4th down. I don't know enough about the kicking game of Corona Del Mar to know if Dane Voorhees is able to kick a 39-yard field goal. I don't see Voorhees coming onto the field, so it looks like Garbers may be signaling they're going to go for it. 4th and 15. Can St. Francis hold them? Garbers with the ball, waiting, and throws it right past his receiver. Again, they're asking for a pass interference. They're not going to get it, and the Lancers take over. With 11:25 to work with and 21 points to make up. So if the St. Francis Lancers have any rabbits to pull out of their hat, this is the time to do it. Out they come. Daly with 2 setbacks and 2 wide receivers. Hands off. And he'll get across maybe to the 32. Runner there was Tyler Winston. And gain of about 3 there. Here they come again. Daly under center. Short drop. Throws out to the flat, and I'm not sure if that was completed or not.
Daly's pass intended for Rawls, ball's incomplete.
No, was incomplete there. That was Karsten Rawls, that was the intended receiver, number 3.
Get the quarterback.
3rd and 7. So the Lancers may not be having much more luck than the Sea Kings did on the possession that's happening right around this side of the field. So here comes Ryan Daly. 2 setbacks, 1 wide receiver. Short drop, and here comes the blitz. And there is a flag down on the play. We'll see if this holds. It's a massive loss, probably back to about the 19-yard line, loss of maybe 10 or 11. Or maybe more. And it's a face mask against Corona Del Mar. And not only does that wipe out a beautifully run blitz, it's also going to give the Lancers some breathing room, because as we have said in the past, and we'll say it one more time, a personal foul never goes unpunished. So they're going to mark it at about the 37-yard line. Fourth and 3. And the running back stopped for no gain. And the Lancers will cough it up, giving Corona Del Mar a nice piece of real estate to work with. Or maybe that was third down. I only saw the 3. Maybe it's fourth down. No, it's fourth down now. Fourth and 3 from the 39. So St. Francis, another chance at salvation. And again, the runners bottle up. And Corona Del Mar coming away with the stop. John Humphreys, I think, may have been in on that. Or possibly Ryder Haupt.
First down, St. Francis.
But he did get the first down. I beg your pardon.
Get him, Butler!
First and 10 for the Lancers, and they did that the hard way. Clock continuing to roll. Back to pass. Short one out to the flat there. Caught by Dylan Golden.
To Golden. Zach Green on the tackle.
And
Gain of 3. Second and 7.
Dylan Golden, a 6'4", 220-pound sophomore, so he'll be a Lancer for a couple more years. And if he keeps making catches like that, beyond, maybe the sky's the limit. 2 setbacks, 2 wide receivers from the left hash mark. Hands off. And he gets across the 45, maybe to the 46.
Hernandez, the ball carrier.
Pickup of maybe 3. That'll bring up 5 to go and third down.
Gain of 2.
Or gain of 2, I guess. Clock still running. About 8:15 left to go in the game. They're set. Short drop. Pass and in and out of the hands and of Karsten Rawls, and Rawls would like to have that one back. So 4th and 5. And faced with another decision are the St. Francis Lancers. If they give the ball back again and Corona Del Mar is able to get another score, that would just about put the game away. Not clear yet on what they're going to do. Clayton Lyman's coming onto the field. And it appears they're going to go for it. 4th and 5. 2 wide receivers, 2 setbacks. High formation. Back to pass. Here comes the blitz. Long pass down there, and he has it, but is he out of bounds? And he is called out of bounds. And the Lancers give it away in their own territory. Great effort there by Ryan Daly just to avoid the sack, but just not well aimed, and it was also fairly well covered. No real chance at all there. And here come the Sea Kings, sitting on a 21-point lead and looking for something that will put this game out of reach. Garber's out of the gun. Quick pass to the right side. And John Humphreys just knocked over the defender there, who I think might have been
Pulowski and
Joe
Arthur
Pulowski.
on the tackle. Good for a first down.
And that was good for a first down. Joe Pulowski, 24 tackles last year. Probably wasn't well set up because Humphreys just knocked him over like a bowling pin. Now hands off. And he is gang tackled, is Bradley Schloem.
Bingquist, the ball carrier.
Or no, I beg your pardon, that was Riley Bingquist.
Arquette and Herman on the tackle. Gain of 2, second and 8.
And I'll bring up a 2nd and 8 now for the Sea Kings. 7:25 to go in the game. As St. Francis wondering if they can stop Corona one more time to have any chance to stay in this thing. Man in motion, and a quick flip there. They've used that play before, and he's across the 25 down to about the 24. And that was Bradley Schloem again. And that may be enough for a first down. No, not quite.
3rd and 2 at the 25-yard line.
2 yards to go for a first down. Garbers has 2 wide receivers off to the left, tailback behind him. Hands off, and he plows through, and I think he may have enough for the first down. And that's Bingquist again.
Chris Oyster on the tackle.
Hunter, way to go, Hunter!
Bingquist has already, I think, made more than his average contribution to this running game. Although I think he'd like nothing better than to get a second touchdown. He had one last year. I don't believe he scored any last week against Downey. Man in motion. Quick handoff there. And he's going to be close to the 10-yard line. And that was Riley Bingquist again.
Espiritu on the tackle.
And that's a gain of 6. So that'll bring up a second down now for the Sea Kings. Still driving, and with 5.5 minutes left to play, they're playing it very smart. The Bill Walsh strategy, if you got a lead like this, you stop throwing, you start running the ball. And here they come again, and this time the Lancers are all over it.
Bingquist, the ball carrier.
And if Bingquist picked up anything, it was very, very small from what I can tell. Bringing up a 3rd and 4, and the clock continuing to run.
Herman and Hart on the tackle.
And Corona content to just let the clock run, realizing that even if they don't get in this time, even if they don't put any more points on the board, they're not going to leave much time for the Lancers.
Timeout on the field. Timeout Sea Kings.
And Corona Del Mar has chosen to take a timeout. So we'll take one too. We'll be back for the last 4 minutes and 27 seconds of this high school match between the Lancers and the Sea Kings. Don't go away. Well, the Lancers have decided to kick it away. They haven't had a huge amount of success with 3rd or 4th down conversions tonight. And so Ryan Daly, known for being a quarterback and a wide receiver and occasionally a defensive back, boots it. And that's going to take a Lancer bounce. It'll probably end up at about the 23-yard line. And that's where Corona Del Mar will finish things up. The story of this game has been execution and resilience. The Sea Kings had both, the Lancers had neither. And it is to be expected given the background of these teams. But I think they have I think the St. Francis Lancers are going to have a lot of thinking to do in the next week. And they're just going to take a knee there. I think that is Max Lane, who's in at quarterback now. Quite happy just to let the clock go. Corona Del Mar I'm going to see if I can find out what their next games are. Again, taking a knee. There's less than a minute to go now. Corona Del Mar going to be spending tonight in Los Gatos. And then they'll be heading back to Newport Beach. And that will just about do it right there. So the teams are headed out onto the field. And this one is going to be an impressive victory for the Sea Kings and a disappointment for the St. Francis Lancers. Tonight's show is produced by Josh Young. Thank you, Josh. Tim Erskine has been our truck engineer and cameraman. Daniel Negretti on one of the other cameras. Brini Yuen, thank you, Brini. Special thanks to St. Francis High School and their administration. My name is Mike Messner, and I just wanted to remind you before we leave, run for the roses, but don't forget to stop and smell them. God bless everybody. See you next time. Okay, all right, thank you very much. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye. Have a safe journey back. Dane Voorhees, the Sea King kicker, ready to kick it off one more time. It's a squib kick. They've used that very effectively. And the Lancers wisely fall on that rather than take any risks on it. That was Nico Andrighetto there.
Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 Lancers.
Andrighetto was on the freshman team last year and jumped immediately to the varsity. He didn't go with the JV. So he must be doing something right, and that was one of them, handling kickoffs. So the Lancers now playing more or less for respect and for dignity, come out for another series. And Joey Scott appears to be in there. That looked like it was Jared Higgins who got that. 2nd down and 9, and gained 1 on the play. And here come the Lancers. They're out of the huddle. That is Joey Scott, number 7, who appears to be in at quarterback now. And the handoff there. And it looked like he might have been tripped up. There was a good ankle tackle there. That was Adonis Hernandez with the run.
And Scott on the tackle.
And he picked up one. So 3rd down and 8 now for the Lancers.
82.
Joey shot, I guess.
3rd and 7.
Typo there. It's his first year on the varsity, so he may be trying to prove something to Ryan Daly also. 3rd down and 7. And he manages to get away from there. That was Adonis Hernandez again.
Hernandez, the ball carrier. Right
That
down.
is going to bring a 4th down, though.
Green.
3 yards to go, and it looks like the punting team is coming on for the Lancers.
3 at the 32.
Looks like Vince Behringer, or no, it is Ryan Daly, I beg your pardon. He'll be handling the kicking again. And whistle goes.
Timeout, St. Francis.
And St. Francis will take a timeout. They still have 2 to go. Corona Del Mar with 1. So they're going to think about what they're going to do, and while they're thinking, we'll take a break. We've got 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in this one, and Corona Del Mar squeezing the hope out of the St. Francis Lancers. Garber throwing, and he'll get in, and it's a touchdown for Corona Del Mar. And that should just about do it for this contest. We've got 4:19 to play. And if the extra point is made, the Lancers will be down 28 points with very few tricks left in their bag and not a whole lot of time to do that. So they will try the extra point. Dane Voorhees again. He's been busy tonight. And yes, it's good. So it's going to be a fun bus ride for the Sea Kings tomorrow back down to Newport Beach. And for the Lancers, they're going to have a week to think about what has gone down this evening. So it may be that the Lancers right now are playing for respect as much as anything else. We got a timeout on the field, so we'll be back for the last few minutes of this one. Don't go away. Dane Voorhees, the Sea King kicker, ready to kick it off one more time. It's a squib kick. They've used that very effectively, and the Lancers wisely fall on that rather than take any risks on it. That was Nico Andrighetto there.
Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Lancers.
Andrighetto was on the freshman team last year and jumped immediately to the varsity. He didn't go with the JV, so he must be doing something right, and that was one of them, handling kickoffs. So the Lancers now playing more or less for respect and for dignity, come out for another series. And Joey Scott appears to be in there. That looked like it was Jared Higgins who got that. 2nd down and 9, and gained 1 on the play. here come the Lancers. They're out of the huddle. That is Joey Scott, number 7, who appears to be in at quarterback now. And the handoff there. And it looked like he might have been tripped up. There was a good ankle tackle there. That was Adonis Hernandez with the run.
And Scott on the tackle.
And he picked up 1. So 3rd down and 8 now for the Lancers.
82.
Joey Shot, I guess.
3rd and 7.
Typo there. It's his first year on the varsity, so he may be trying to prove something to Ryan Daly also. 3rd down and 7. And he manages to get away from there. That was Adonis Hernandez again.
Hernandez, the ball carrier. Right
That is going to bring a 4th down, though.
Green.
3 yards to go, and it looks like the punting team is coming on for the Lancers.
3 at the 32.
Looks like Vince Behringer, or no, it is Ryan Daly, I beg your pardon. He'll be handling the kicking again. And whistle goes.
Timeout, St. Francis.
And St. Francis will take a timeout. They still have 2 to go. Corona Del Mar with 1. So they're going to think about what they're going to do, and while they're thinking, we'll take a break. Well, the Lancers have decided to kick it away. They haven't had a huge amount of success with 3rd or 4th down conversions tonight. And so Ryan Daly, known for being a quarterback and a wide receiver and occasionally a defensive back, boots it, and that's going to take a Lancer bounce. It'll probably end up at about the 23-yard line, and that's where Corona Del Mar will finish things up. The story of this game has been execution and resilience. The Sea Kings had both, the Lancers had neither. And it is to be expected given the background of these teams. But I think they have I think the St. Francis Lancers are going to have a lot of thinking to do in the next week. And they're just going to take a knee there. I think that is Max Lane, who's in at quarterback now. Quite happy just to let the clock go. Corona Del Mar I'm going to see if I can find out what their next games are. Again, taking a knee. There's less than a minute to go now. Corona Del Mar going to be spending tonight in Los Gatos, and then they'll be heading back to Newport Beach. And that will just about do it right there. So the teams are headed out onto the field, and this one is going to be an impressive victory for the Sea Kings and a disappointment for the St. Francis Lancers. Tonight's show is produced by Josh Young. Thank you, Josh. Tim Erskine has been our truck engineer and cameraman. Daniel Negretti on one of the other cameras. Brini Yuen, thank you, Brini. Special thanks to St. Francis High School and their administration. My name is Mike Messner, and I just wanted to remind you before we leave, run for the roses, but don't forget to stop and smell them. God bless everybody. See you next time.